I would agree with that, and I wouldn't say on the soccer side because I was gone so early, but I would say on the coaching side and stuff that I've learned from Brendan and being around an MLS environment at a very young age, that's helped me with understanding of how to develop a person as well as a soccer player, and then obviously bringing that in and then bringing a professional in like James in terms of what project that was at that time. He would help on that with his playing experience and so on. And then obviously Alan with the team that we were developing underneath to help that. And the way we use the word aggressive quite a bit, but that's what really produces professional players or starts a career. Then it's up to them. But I'd say the mentality of what I learned over, leaving home early to come here would help me. I think the soccer aspect of it would go more towards these two in terms of playing games. But yeah, I would agree with that.
On our side, I just think because Chamber would have had a different experience going straight into the pro game, I thought what we learned in Ireland was a massive advantage in the college game out here, both as a player and as a coach. People didn't know, as a player, I got here in 2010, people did not know what was going on. There was 8 or 9, we had 9 Irish lads in the team. A nothing team in the middle of Jackson, Tennessee. We were so proud of it and we went undefeated for so long. But people just didn't know what was going on. They were shell-shocked. We weren't as talented, we weren't as good. But that character and that I suppose the chemistry we had because everyone was together. But there was 2 to 3 lads in there that were insane, like me included. We were mad. But it
hasn't changed, still insane.
Yeah, even worse now. But it really, like even one little story, we had little David Fallon from Malahide playing, and he was not even 6 foot, he was 5 foot nothing, centre half beside me, and there was a French boy he got signed the MLS somewhere. He was playing against us, and Fallon just headbutted him the first 5 minutes, and Fallon had to jump up to headbutt him, and the fella asked to be taken off because he took his yellow card and I took my yellow card, and then the fella just didn't want to play. He was like, take me off. So like there's a higher talented player just because of what we learned in Ireland. You remember, like we were taught in Ireland, your first header, headbutt him in the back of the head, which is prehistoric. It's not right, don't get me wrong.
Alan's a defender.
Yeah, obviously. But those things helped us over here. They really did. And Hoagie would use us like, when we were playing, Hoagie would use us and you'd be able to control the field with your voice. You really would, especially central or centre midfield. I've seen him do it at Bethlehem Steel. You're able to just control the field. People listen. For what reason, we don't know, but they listen, and that's the big thing. I thought anyway. Then when you develop that into the coaching side, as long as you obviously know what you're talking about, at least we like to think we do. But people listen, and that aggressiveness does land, and you get a reaction. It was very helpful from my experience anyway. Did you see anything different?
No, I think it did. I think the Irish player, maybe it's changing now, but back then, like it was very stereotypical of hard, aggressive, will work like extremely hard, and will give everything they have, and then they might have a little bit of technical ability where you're like, oh, he's a decent player, but there's no discussion about what they can produce, and that's like hard work and grafters. And I think that's what most people who come over here do. And then I think, like, we're guilty of it. Irish people are loud by nature. Like, we like to think we're humorous, not us three, but we're loud by nature. And I think if you're a football player and you're loud, like you take that onto the field with you and you have a bigger voice, and people recognise that and see it and listen to you. And some people, like, probably aren't making sense, but because they're loud, people listen to them. So it's important to find the right balance as well. But I would say that my experience is coming over where I was a loud, aggressive personality. And I think that, in a weird way, that helped me. Whereas back in Ireland, it was like, well, we're all like that. We're all like that. So you have to have a different kettle of fish, I think. But yeah, that's kind of the stereotypical Irish player.